Good morning. Happy Sabbath. It's Queen Cleo. I wanted to come on. I haven't done a video in a while. Just spreading the gospel and tell you guys about my trip. I went to Orlando last Thursday for my husband's birthday. We stayed Thursday through Sunday. But on the last Sabbath, we actually, let me move it out of my way, we were able to go to Miami, where my church is, Bethel, IOG Bethel, House of God. We were able to worship on the Sabbath, and it was amazing to be in worship with everyone who was worshiping on the Lord's Day. The Sabbath is the seventh day. So in God's eyes and himself, I would say, he deals with numbers. He deals with seven. Seven is the number of completion. If you hear a noise in the back, it is my air conditioning. So excuse me, guys. But he deals with seven. And this is the seventh day. So Sunday is the first day, and this is the seventh day. So when you learn, as you grow up, you're learning bad doctrine, you're learning Rome. That's the fourth beast in the Bible he speaks of. In Roman is the worst of the four beasts, because it will mess with your mind. And God called your mind your heart, and your heart is here. But you also have a heart pumping blood, but you have a heart that thinks. So God deals with the mind as a heart. So Rome is the fourth and most dangerous beast, because it tells you can worship on the sun day, which is sun worship. It tells you can celebrate paganism, Christmas, Halloween, Valentine's Day, Thanksgiving coming up is a civil day. It's not pagan, but what it did, it hurt the Native Americans. It hurt them because they slaughtered their forefathers on, their lands. They taught them how to cook, fish, hunt, and in return, they slaughtered their females. They cut off their breasts and threw them as frisbees, and then they slaughtered the men. So that's what the Gentiles did to the Native Americans. So if you have any spiritual understanding, any knowledge in history, you will know that Thanksgiving is a day of slaughter. So back to the reason I'm doing this live. I want to speak about God's return. He's going to return, and he's going to return with vengeance. Everyone says, I'm just reading something that was sent to me. I don't know why they sent that to me through email. He's going to return with vengeance. He's going to return with fury. He is unhappy the way things are. Like, everyone thinks that they can do what they want to do. Everyone thinks that they can celebrate the holidays and they can still be received by God, because it tells you in the Roman Christian Church that you can do anything you want to do. All you have to do is repent, and you will receive grace from God. But what God tells you, the Ten Commandments, you're supposed to follow everyone. What he tells you, his laws has not been done away with. You need the first books of the Bible and the second books of the Bible, which people say that that's the old law, that's the Old Testament, but you need the old and the first. You have to put line upon line, precept upon precept, here a little, there a little. You have to put all the parts of the Bible in there. People who have come into the truth and who have recanted statements saying that the Bible was written by anybody. No, the Bible was written by the hands of the people that God chose. God doesn't let anybody touch his word, just like he doesn't let anybody touch his righteous people. God controls both sides. He controls good and evil. The fallen angel himself still has to return to God. If you're having issues in your home, if you feel like you're being attacked, it's because the spirits, which they are, good and evil, they have the right to attack you because there's something that you don't have, which means a relationship with God. There's something that you have walked into, whether it's sorcery, whether it's idolatry, whether it's anything that's against God. And God has the right to send the evil spirits down, which they're walking, because when the angel fell, which is Lucifer, his name was a light bringer, truth bringer, but now he's Satan. When he fell, the third of the angels fell with him. Michael kicked him out. There was a war in heaven, and Michael prevailed over Lucifer, and he is here. He's here. So he has reign that God gives him to do damage. And if you come against the righteous, God will not stop. He will put everything in his angels to slaughter you. So you have to watch who you speak ill on. God said, love that enemy as I love that. You have to love your enemies. You cannot, rejoice when he's hand upon the enemy, because he'll stop it and then it'll go back on you. So you have to love your enemy, give your enemy drink. When they're thirsty, feed them. It's hard to do because there's someone who hates you, but God said that you can't receive the kingdom if you hate your brother, your mother, or your sister. So if you're having issues with them, you need to make peace. No matter what they did, God said in the Bible, someone asked him, how many times you're supposed to forgive a person? 7 times? No, God said 77 and more times that you forgive. So you have to forgive. You cannot spread his word with malice. The Hebrew Israelites, I challenge you guys to come together. There shouldn't be a fight about the name. It's Jesus. It's Jesus. Jesus. It came from heaven. But he also has a Hebrew names that he speaks of. So we shouldn't be fighting amongst each other. We're supposed to spread the gospel. And men, they can teach. He said, I will not suffer a woman to teach. That means he's not suffering you to teach. You can teach in school. You can be a teacher. But of the word of God, spreading it, yes, you can do that. But when you go to church, you're going to see a man in the pulpit. You're going to see a leader. And he's going to be male. Because God said he created male and female. In him, he created them. He created them. That means the male came first. Adam came first. I don't care if the remix saying that Eve came first. No, Adam came first. Adam was, formed out of ground, dust and dirt. And then he caused a sleep upon him. And then he took a rib and he made Eve. So he says, bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh. I'll call you woman because you came out of man. So you have to know that God is coming back. He's returning. And you have to stop living your life violently. If you live by violence, you're going to succumb to violence. If you live a way where you are too perfect, no one's perfect. Perfection comes from God. So if you're down, if you're looking down on people, that's the wrong way to go. If you're living a life of whoredom, that's the wrong way to go. If you're living a life of on a corner on the block, that's the wrong way to go. You have to come out of every destruction to receive him. I've came out of every destruction to receive him. My husband came out of every destruction to receive. My children have came out of every destruction to receive him. You can't receive the kingdom being nasty, being violent, wishing death upon people, because it's going to turn back on you. And there's nothing to do with karma. It's called God's will. He sits high. He sits on the right side of his Father. It's true. It's not 3, 4. It's him and the Father. He sits right side of his Father. And you have the holy angels who walk upon the earth and who are in heaven. No one's in heaven. Your mama, your daddy, your sister, your brother, they're sleeping. He said, I will raise them at the last day. The dead in Christ will rise first. There's 2 resurrections. The first, as he descends on earth, we will ascend to him. You will be changed. You will not all sleep. Sleep means death. It's sleeping. They're not, the dead know nothing, but they're sleeping until God raised them. He has the power to kill you. He has the power to wake you up and then puts you in the lake of fire. Hell is the lake of fire. There's no lake of fire. There's no hell. Hell is a condition. So when I tell you it's time to change, when I tell you have to change, what I see in the world, I see wickedness, I see idolatry, I see fornication, I see people coming after marriages. So you have to pray over your marriage, because there's someone seeking the marriage to tear it apart. They see you with a beautiful husband, a handsome husband, a beautiful wife, and they want what you have. But God said that you're betrothed to the one that he chooses. Eve was Adam's wife, as I am James' wife. You are not to come against anybody's marriage. You are not to say, oh, that's my husband. No. If he's married, God has chosen a helpmate. Helpmate meaning you have to help your husband. You have to encourage your husband. You should love your husband. You're not to go against him. He is to lead you. That's how the ranking God says. He is not to, oh, we better do this, that, and third. Or can you? You're to work as a team. You're not to work against each other. So when I tell you there's things, their spirits are working against you. When you say depression, there's no such thing. Depression is spirit. It's spirit of that has the right to harass you. When you have bad, evil thoughts, it's something that God is telling you to walk away from. The dietary. When I see people buying pounds of chitlins that are unclean, that comes from a pig that eats everything. He eats dogs, he eats his babies, he eats feces, he will eat anything. He's a destroyer. God put him on the earth to be a trash can. He doesn't have clean dietary. He takes 4 hours to digest his food, when a clean animal takes less than that. They chew their food, which is the cud. They regurgitate their food, and then they digest their food. That's the cow, that's the goat, that's the lamb. Pigs are an abomination. God said those who eat swine's flesh in the garden will be consumed together with the mouse. When you eat anything outside of God's dietary law, you are going to suffer. You want to know why you have cancer. You want to know why you have lupus. You want to know why you're the highest of them all with high blood pressure, hypertension. You want to know why you have to take medicine. God created us to be a royal people, a peculiar people, a people that have a clean dietary. Let's put it on the table. We never ate meat until God had to kill to clothe our forefathers, Eve and Adam. They ate fruits of the garden of Eden. They ate fruits. There were trees, there were olives, there was apples, there was oranges, any fruit you can name. Look at me. I'm 37, and people put me as I'm in my 20s because I've always been fair, which God called fair in the Bible, which every woman, even Sarah, which name was Sarai. Every woman of Judah, of every tribe in the Bible, were beautiful because they had a clean dietary. They were having babies later in life, 70, hundreds. They lived thousands of years before the destruction, before the disrespect of our forefather and our foremother, when she talked to the serpent, which is the devil, which was the truth bringer light bulb, Lucifer. So God knows what you're doing. You can't hide anything from you. So if you're taking curses upon yourself, if you're going to do sorcery for a man, if you're going to do sorcery for a career, if you're going to do sorcery for anything, God said you have signed your death certificate, because he doesn't deal with those who walk into the fire knowledgeably. If you put your children through the fire, God's going to put you through the fire. There's no forgiveness for committing sorcery, because you knew better. You knew to pray to him. You knew to wait on him. God said those who wait on me will be prosperous, will be saved. If you need anything, help with a job, help with mentally, your strained and stressed on a job, you're strained and stressed on your marriage, you're strained and stressed as a person, period. God said, repent to me, face Jerusalem. face Jerusalem and ask me for help. You don't need to ask a soothsayer for help, because in the Bible, our forefathers, which kings asked them, the soothsayers, the magicians, they couldn't help it with the interpretation. He had to go get Daniel. He had to go get any of the Hebrew Israelites to tell them interpretation, because they are the people of the book. And I don't care if the other Hebrew Israelites who ran away from the truth are spreading, oh, I needed more knowledge. You will get the knowledge. He said, now you're getting understanding. You will get understanding from God. You don't get understanding on your own. So the Bible, he said he did so much miracles, he could not put it all in the Bible. God doesn't want you to know everything. He has his prophets, he has his prophetess, he has his preachers, his pastors. You're not to call anybody father, because father is a father and Jesus is Jesus, and he is our father. He is our intercessor. So you're hearing from the Most High. You need to pay attention. Listen up. When he comes, there's no party, there's no rapture. He's coming back, and he come back with vengeance and a sword dipped in blood, and on his thigh it's going to be the word. So if you think you have time, you don't. You don't have time, because when God says, when he wakes you up and then you stand in judgment, he's going to ask you. I've sent plenty of people to tell you to stop eating pork, crab, lobster, and shrimp. I've sent plenty of my righteous people to tell you that to stop celebrating paganism. You did not do what I've asked. I do not know you. Depart from me, you worker of iniquity. Fire. He's not going to play when it's time to turn a perfect kingdom into his father. He's going to do what he needs to do, and you're going to face damnation, and you're going to burn eternally. It's no cutting off. That's like you get a burn and you get some cream in the cease. When you burn in the lake of fire, you're burning forever. So are you willing to risk your life with God for sorcery, for fame? Which I had several of the people who are the elite demons reach out. If I wanted to be famous, I had to do these steps, and I told them, hell no. I delete, block. I don't want to be successful in damnation. I want to be successful in God's will. I will never take any curses upon myself and my family to receive fame. So pay attention to the songs, the music, the celebrities, which God say you're not to separate my people. They're not above us. We bleed the same way a celebrity bleeds. We breathe the same air. They're not above us. So you're not to idolatry. I mean, you're creating idols. You're not to idolize anybody, because they're the same as us. They're flesh, which God created. So wake up. There's celebrities who are having secret demonic parties to receive the worship of people. So watch what you listening to, watch who you singing with, watch what you're doing, because you can hear the devil worship in the music. I heard it from the biggest star out. I heard it. Some of the biggest stars, which stars are in the sky. They're not in people. So I will not give glory to people. I'll give glory to God. I will spread the gospel daily. I will lose anybody. Meaning, you know how they say fall out. If I had to stop talking to multiple people, which I have, I will, because I don't have to answer to anyone but God. So are you willing to lose your life? Are you willing to be woken up by God and he's not pleased? Are you willing to be on the other end of his receiving theory from him? Because you can't hide from him. You can't hide from God. God is everywhere. So you need to wake up. As I say, wake up Hebrews, and wake up other nations, wake up the world. Wake up, because he is coming back. And he's coming back with a vengeance. This is not a game. This is not for fame. I do this for the grace and the love of God. Famous? No. There's nothing that I want of fame. What I want is to be in the kingdom and God see me and say, well done. My favor with the Lord, I know about it. People tell me, first and foremost, God tell me my favor. I'm not here to receive fame. I'm here to warn the people, because the blood will not be on my hands. And when I tell you to change, you need to change. When I tell you to stop celebrating paganism and these holidays, you need to stop. When I tell you to stop consuming outside of dietary, stop. Because what I hear and when I know what God gonna do, you will be terrified, because he shows me that prophets and prophetess still live. He said, I will do nothing but reveal my secrets to my prophets. And he put the prophetess in the Bible, their disciple, that was a woman. So we have a place with God, but he placed the man ahead. So when you're saying, oh, I'm not going to listen to him, I'm not going to submit, your marriage will never be anything unless God is over it, first of all. And if you don't give that man the respect and the love and the leadership that he, give him to lead you, then you're definitely not going to have a peaceful home. If you're outside talking to women and you're married, and talking to men and you're married, God is going to do everything to you until you realize what you did. Are you willing to die for whoredom and adultery? Are you willing to die for paganism? Are you willing to die for eating outside the dietary law? Are you willing to lose your life and then be burned by the Most High? So I'm telling you right now, this is the seventh day. Sabbath. Remember the Sabbath, keep it holy. So if you're still sitting on Sunday after you have done everything on the seventh day, they tell you not to, you have to answer to him. So I just want to warn everyone, wake up, get in line, get your house in order. I'm here as Queen Cleo, not a pastor, a spreader of the gospel, a Hebrew Israelite woman, tribe of Judah, because God told me to. Say it. I didn't say it on my own. I do nothing on myself. I spread his gospel, I spread his love. And anyone who tries to come against his righteous will fall. Not a hair on the righteous head will be touched. Anyone coming against his righteous will face his fury. And if you know anything about God's fury, if you see any of the natural disasters, if you see any of what happened to Hebrews in the past, slavery, what happened to children, what happened to the other nations when they came against Israel in the Bible, and what's happening now, he is powerful, he is loving, but he also is a God of destruction, a God of vengeance, and he will put his foot on the necks of those who come against his people. So turn around, face Jerusalem. Women, put your hair wrap on, pray to God, pray without ceasing. I'm telling you, it's going to be a war, and he's going to win. He's going to. There will be 3.5 years of destruction before he returns. The Great Tribulation is nothing that you see, nothing you have not seen. And if you're not in the safety of him, when the false prophet is upon the earth and you can't buy or sell without the mark of the beast, and if you're not in God's hiding place, you're going to suffer. You're going to be killed. Wake up. It's nothing nice when you have offended God. He do not know you if you have not been baptized. A covenant. He will see you in your ignorance, but he doesn't have to protect you. So if you have not have a covenant with God, if you're still fornicating, if you're still living together and y'all don't have a covenant, God don't have to, he don't have to protect you. If you're being protected, that means someone's righteous. Someone like me and others have been praying for you. I pray for my entire family, my husband's family, which is my family now. I pray for the world. But I'm telling you, he's over it. He created the foundations. He did everything. He said to the angels, create the oceans, create this, create that. He gave the order. Jesus is real. So if you celebrating outside of Jesus, Buddha, Allah, and others who are false gods, he said, don't celebrate me like you celebrate them. You're a hypocrite. And he's starting with the church first, at the sanctuary. Wake up. Don't be left out in the cold. Because Queen Cleo, and as for me and my house, which my husband is first, meaning he leads us, as the ranking God, the Father, and Jesus, then my husband, then me and the children, as me from us. But as it says, as for me and my house, I will serve the Lord on the Sabbath. You see the glow, you see the sun, you see that God is pleased with this message. This is Queen Cleo. I'm signing off. Get in line or be left out in the cold. Peace and blessings.